Hey guys, in this video, we're gonna have a look at how to track your footage, then export the tracking data, then import this tracking data into Blender. So we are doing everything step by step from motion tracking to compositing your footage in Blender, final composition, and everything you need to know about After Effects and Blender VFX. And best thing about this video that we will be installing a script in After Effects in order to export data and also an add-on in Blender to import that track data into Blender. So it's going to be step by step. Consider subscribe and let's begin it. Okay, so now just to grab these footage into your new composition. So we have a footage here. If you play it, it's just a subtle motion drone shot. I have downloaded it from pexels.com. Check it out. I will also put the link in the description down below. Okay, so first thing you need to know, you need to do is to add a cause fact to make it a little bit, to increase the contrast of the footage. If the contrast is more, then it's gonna be tracked well, perfectly. So I'm just gonna grab these to here, maybe these to here. I'm gonna grab this to down here to make it a little bit crispy. Okay, so I think this is perfect. Now right click, recompose it, and just move all attributes into the new composition and hit OK. Close the effects and presets, click tracker, and now click this track camera and come to advanced and click detailed analysis to actually track with some amazing details or it will track some more features in your shot. Like if you just leave it at default, it will not track so much, but if you click detailed analysis, it will track so much thing which will be perfect for your final track. And let's wait for tracking it. I'm gonna pause it and recontinue it. Okay, so I think our shot is tracked. Now it's solving the camera wet for these. It depends on the complexity or the resolution of your shot and the duration of your shot. And let's wait for these to be completed. And I think it's completed, but you don't see any tracker in the scene. Actually, it's because you have not selected the effect. When you select it, it will show you all of the tracker in the scene. Okay, so you can also increase the size here of the trackers. And we're actually meant to grab this area because we're actually adding our Apple Vision Pro here. So, okay. Yeah, I want trackers from here. I'm gonna select all of them like these. Just something I have actually left and just grabbed it, and I think it's not perfect. Make sure that it faces you while you select tracker. I'm gonna select these three, create solid and camera, and I think it's good. If we play it, I'm just gonna deselect everything and play it. If it's good, then we're going for this one. Yeah, as you can see, it's perfectly moving with the background shot. And this is what we want. So now it's time to show you how to export these data into Blender. Well, it's pretty easy. You need a script file here. I have the script file installed, but if you don't have, I'll put the link in the description. I'm actually using this script file. I will put the link in the description as well. And as you can see, there are so many sheets going on, but you don't need to think about it. You just need to click this download button to actually download the raw file. It's actually a JSON file. So I'm going to click download the raw file and it will start downloading it. As you can see, export composition data to .json. So now come up to After Effects, come to File and come up to Script and run script file. Click it and go to download and we have .jsx file in download folder. Click it and open it. And as you can see, we have successfully installed the .json script file. So now I'm going to select everything, come to File, Script, and you will see export composition data to .json. Sorry for mispronunciation because my English is not good. Okay, so export composition data. I'm going to select a folder. So I'm going to click the browse button and I'm going to go ahead and save it somewhere. Go for here. I'm gonna create a new folder. I'm gonna name it 4 and click it. So I'm gonna name the file here. I'm gonna name it something like track or you whatever you wanna call it. Just save it with some name and now hit export. So now data is exported. Now it's time for Blender to do its magic. So here we are in Blender. Select everything and hit X to delete everything. Now, actually, we need an add-on to actually import this data. So here is the add-on, After Effects to Blender. This is the add-on. I will put the link in the description. As you can see, we have so much scripts going on, but we don't give a shit to it. We just need the raw file from here, download it, and keep. Okay. So here it's just a Python file. What you need to come to Blender, go to Edit, Preferences, hit Install, go ahead to the directory where you downloaded this .py file. So I have here we go. Import the .py and click Install Add-on, and your add-on will be installed. And you just need to search for it. I'm gonna search for After Effects. As you can see, I have already turned on. If you don't have, just click it to turn it on and just save your preferences. Okay, so now it's time to import. As you can see, we have turned on an add-on, and here we can see the import option for .json file. Click it, go ahead to the directory where you saved your .json file from After Effects. So I have here, as you can see, track.json, and click import AE data. So here is the scene going on. Okay, so first of everything, you need to select this plan and hit X to delete it. Hit A to select everything. Go ahead to the timeline. As you can see, one keyframe is out of the range. It's because After Effects timeline start from 0 and Blender timeline start from 1. What you need to just click G, grab it into 1, and that's it. Okay. So the second thing you need to do is to select the camera. Here we go. And come up to these camera data settings, click background image and expand it, add image and add a movie clip here, and then click open. We are actually opening the video that we have used in Blender. So I'm just selecting the video file, and I'm just gonna go ahead and select the file. I don't know where I have kept it, but I'm just sure. Yeah, it's here. Click open clip. So the next thing you need to keep in mind is to set the frame rate. Here we go. In the default settings, it's 24 frame per second, but you need to check out your footage. I'm gonna open it. This is the footage. I'm gonna click properties. Here we go. Gonna close it and okay. So this is the video's properties. Come to details and you will see it's 29.97 frames per second selected. Okay. And resolution is just 1920 and 1080. It doesn't matter because we have the same video of resolution. Okay, so if you go to camera view and if you play it, as you can see, we have perfect track actually going on. And select this shot and just scale it down. Okay, so first thing you need to do, you need to change this transfer orientation to local. It's very helpful while rotating something. If we just leave it at global, if we just select the gizmo, and I'm just trying it on something else. Let me just add a cube to show you how it's work. Shift A, I'm gonna add a mesh and I'm gonna add a cube. So I have actually selected global. If I rotate it, the axes are the same, but in local, it's changed. The axis get changed while you rotate the object. As you can see, it's changing with time. So local does help a lot with us because this plan is rotated on some axis and we don't want to move it from its own place. Okay, so as you can see, it's perfectly aligning with it. So now we can scale it. Oh, one thing more. Don't move this plan backward. If you move it, you're gonna lose that. You can move it up and into sides, but you can't move it backward because it will float in the air and it will lose its location. You can scale it up, but you cannot try to move it on y-axis for our case. In your case, it might be different, but in our case, we can't move it. So I'm just gonna scale this down slightly. I'm gonna move it on x-axis. I'm gonna move it on z-axis, something like this. Now if you play it, nothing's gonna change. So okay, scale it. Just move it like that. Move it slightly down. As you can see, it's perfectly stick to the building. And now we need a 3D model. Okay, so we need an Apple Vision Pro model. I'll put the link in the description. I have used that model. from this great artist name, something like I don't know how to pronounce it, but I will put the link to the same model in the description down below. So let's go ahead and download it and just use it. Now I downloaded this model. It was just a piece of shit because I was have to make it uh you know it's just a mess. If I go to, as you can see, there are so many of empties, but actually we can control it with just one empty, and that's it. This is what we want. So now what you need to do, you need to go to camera view, select these empty in a center, and hit Shift Ace, cursor to selected to actually snap the cursor into there. And then what you need to do, select these one, actually our glasses or something, or this viewer, and hit Shift Ace, selection to cursor, and go to camera view. As you can see, it snapped there. I'm gonna scale it up like that and move it. I'm gonna change it to global for now. I'm gonna rotate it in the Z-axis like that. I'm gonna scale it up. I'm gonna move it. I'm gonna rotate it like that, and I'm gonna rotate it in Z-axis. Or we can also rotate it on Z-axis like that to actually show that there is something going on here. Or we can do it like that, like a side view shot. As you can see, it's perfectly working. Okay, so now what we need to just, okay, we're going to grab, I think first we need to select everything within these. Uh, we can't select it because they are just a piece of shit. But anyway, we can just hide, we can't hide it, or we can just click it, right click, select everything and hit M, move it to a new collection and hit OK. So we can easily turn it on or off because it's pretty easy for us. I'm going to turn it off for now because we're going to add a shadow catcher object or whatever you want to call it. And also I'm going to hide this object. So I'm going to select it and hit hide this little eye icon to actually hide or unhide objects. So I'm going to hit Shift A. I'm going to add a cube and I'm going to scale it up. Actually, I'm going to turn this on because we will have a better understanding on how it's going to be rotated. So we go x-axis. I'm gonna rotate it according to the plan like that. Something like this. We can also check it from the top axis. Just slightly rotate it. I'm gonna rotate. Okay, I'm gonna change it to local and I'm gonna rotate it into the x-axis. I'm gonna move it backward. I'm gonna try. Sorry. Try to rotate it on the axis like that. Maybe. Or we can also rotate it in x-axis. Okay, so I think it's good enough. And now we can match it with, I think I'm wrong here. I'm gonna scale it up. Something like this. I'm gonna scale it in x-axis. Something like this. Like click this X-ray icon to actually see what is going on. It's actually a shadow catcher, by the way. And I'm gonna hit tape, Control R, and let's add, okay, Control Z, Control R, add two loop cuts, or we can also go for one loop cut. And hit Control B to bevel it, and okay. I'm gonna go to face selection, select the top face, and hit E to extrude it on Z axis, something like this. And now if you play it, yeah, it's perfectly sticked into this. I'm gonna hit E, extrude it, scale it down like that, and hit E, extrude it, E, S, and then hit E, S, and scale it up like that. And I'm going to scale it down. Maybe we're just roughly matching the background scene. Uh, it's not important, but you can also do it for fun, maybe if you want to try it. Scale it. Okay, that's done, I think. It's just a rough on this it's just a rough shadow catcher to actually catch the shadows of the the Apple Vision Pro. Okay. So the first thing we need to do is to grab this thing and front G grab Y axis like that. If you play it, it's perfectly working. Okay, so one thing more, the light is coming from that angle, so we need to match it later on. I'm just telling you that light is coming from there. Okay, so let's just do some render settings. Come to renderer, make it cycles, make it GPU if you have, turn on the noise, and scroll down and come onto film. And here is the transparent option, turn it on. And also, I'm gonna go to render view and see what the heck we have. So nothing is really happening. Select this cube object, go to its data, and under visibility, you will have a shadow catcher. It will actually catch all of those shadows casted by this object. So now it's time for some lighting. In order to add some light into your scene, you need to add some kind of HDRI, or you can also add a sun maybe. I'm just first try the sun out because we can try different things. And I'm just gonna rotate it on y-axis. I'm gonna increase the strength. I'm gonna make the color way warmer slightly. We'll try to match it. So the sun hit M and grab it into first collection because it was in second collection that we don't want it to be. I'm just gonna increase. Uh, okay, I'm going to rotate it on the z-axis. Okay. Okay, so as you can see, there is nothing happening in the glasses. That is because we don't have any object in the scene. This is a kind of a city. We need to have some reflection on the glasses. In order to add them, we have to model things up. We're not going to do it in this video. We can do it with just images added in front of the glasses to reflect the city. And how to do it? Let me explain. Okay, so this is the video that we're working on. What you need to click Windows Shift plus S to take a screenshot of the top area, something like this. And then go ahead into your Blender project. First save your file, then click File, Import, Images as planned. Go ahead to Pictures directory and take the grab the screenshot into Blender scene. I think it's here. Click Import Images as planned. Okay, so we have images here. Click M to move it into first collection. Just gonna select it. Okay, so this is the image basically. We need to make it in front of the glasses to actually reflect it. So I'm just gonna make it to here. Just gonna grab it near the glasses. And if we go to render view, okay, the next thing we're going to do is gonna make it smaller, just slightly. Open up a new window, go to shadow editor, hit N. We have some texture going on. Expand the emission and connect the color with the color. Increase the strength, something like this. As you can see, we have some reflection on the glasses. Okay, in order to hide these this plan or this image in the camera view, you need to come to object data of this plan, and under visibility, under revisibility, turn off the camera. Now it will cast reflection, but it will not cast any rays into the camera, or it will not be shown in the camera. And maybe we can tweak it around. If we go to top view, just grab it, rotate it. Might we need to grab it near these, and let me just we're gonna select it. Maybe if I just make the roughness 0, increase the metallic value. I think the glasses don't have a great shatter. That is because of, I'm just gonna increase the alpha, decrease the alpha. I don't know. But I think if we just grab it, okay. So I think it's perfect for now. You can just grab another model from internet and just, add it into the scene and go ahead and tweak it around as I did. So guys, now it's time for some compositing stuff. I'm just gonna render out one shot. I'm just gonna save it. Okay, so first, before rendering it, I'm gonna come to render and make it something like 30 sample because I just want to do it faster as possible. I'm gonna render it. So let's try to get it rendered. Okay, so it's rendered. Go ahead to compositing, use node. Now click add output on a viewer node to here. Connect it with the viewer node. Okay, so nothing's gonna happen. We don't have any footage in the background. In order to add a footage, hit Shift A. It's an input. It's a movie clip. Just click the footage. Now we are having a movie clip imported into Compositor. How to combine them? Well, combination is really easy. Just click Shift A, search for alpha over node, and add it. I'm just gonna add the movie clip to the upper socket and the 3D model into the lower socket, and boom, it's working. I'm just gonna grab the alpha over node to the top one, and yeah, it's working. Okay, what we can do next, if we zoom in slightly under viewer, we can clearly see it. So first thing that we're going to add is some blur into the 3D model. So hit Shift A, add a blur node in between the 3D model or the 3D scene and alpha over node. Click the blur node and I'm just gonna make it 1 on the both axes. Blur it slightly. If you increase it to 5, it will be crazier and it will just get out of focus. I'm gonna make it to 1. If you increase the size or decrease it, it's not gonna affect it. Okay. So now it's time for some twist because I'm just gonna make it up. Okay, as you saw in the final video that I just show you in the beginning of the video, there was some icons floating in the air. It's pretty easy. You need some icons. I will show you how to do it. Let's come to layout. I'm just gonna hide this object for now. Hit Control S to save it. Okay, you need some icons to be here, here, and here. In order to make it, you need to download it from internet. Okay, so we will be adding those icons later on, but I think we have to animate the those glasses or whatever it is. Okay, so we're gonna hit I for rotation. I'm gonna go to the ending frame. I'm gonna rotate it, Z-axis. Oh, I think on the first frame, I'm gonna add a location and the rotation frame. I'm gonna go to the ending frame. I'm gonna rotate it on Z-axis like that. Maybe we just slightly move it to there. Hit I for location and rotation. If we play it. Alright, so one thing I'm gonna make it linear by clicking T. Now it's animated perfectly and yeah. Okay. So it's animated now. Now we want to have longer image to actually capture those reflection onto. I'm gonna hit Shift D, duplicate it, rotate it, something like this. I'm gonna move it just slightly. I'm gonna move it like that, and I'm gonna move it to here, and then I'm gonna just hit Shift D, rotate it on the axis, something like this. By the way, it's not coming in camera view because we have turned off the camera for those objects. I'm gonna go to render view and see. Okay. Okay. The main problem is those screenshots are not perfectly aligned with the camera. So what we need to move them up slightly, scale them up on the z-axis, is into z-axis, and now if you see the reflection, okay, so I think it's not ending. I think I'm gonna move it up slightly to fit it in at the first frame. Okay, so it's like that. We need to reduplicate it again and again and again. Shift D, rotate it. I'm gonna move it to here. Just move it something like this. And I'm also gonna be duplicating it to the other side. Something like this. And move it to here. Okay. And yeah, now it will be fine. Hit Control S to save it. Now if you look at these, I'm going to scale these into the axis to fit it in. Control Z. Set. That's enough. And now it's time to add some icons. For now, I'm going to hide those. Okay. So let's add some floating
Or
windows
if you
going
don't want
on.
to use any
It's super
screenshots,
easy.
you can
You
also
need to
use
open up
HDRI. I will put the link to the
your
HDRI in
browser
the
and
description.
search
It
for
would
something. I'm
also
gonna
make
search
some
for YouTube.
reflection for your
Search for
VRs
YouTube
and
here,
Capture
and
Pros.
I'm gonna search
So
for
it's from
Instagram,
Polyhaven. I will put the link in the description to actually
something
use the
like
same
these.
HDRI for your shot to actually make some amazing
What you need
reflections.
to screen record it, screen record your screen, and then move ahead and just use it as an icon. As an example, I'm gonna take a screenshot because right now main screen recording is happening. So I'm just gonna take a screenshot of the window somewhere here. Maybe I'm gonna take screenshot here like that. And one from here, something like this. Maybe I'm just showing you how to do it. Like just literally showing you how to deal with it. I'm gonna also take it from the main screen. It's actually window, but I'm just showing you how I did it. Okay, so now we have enough screenshots and windows. I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna hit File, Import Images as planned. Go ahead to the directory where you save images. I'm gonna go all the way to the directory. I have imported one of the image and I'm gonna move it somewhere around here. I'm gonna rotate it, scale it down slightly and move it up. Make sure to connect it with the emission because emission is important. it will not be affected by the HDRI or the any light in the scene. I'm gonna go to render view. I'm gonna grab it near this object. I'm just gonna go for local to actually perfectly rotate it. I'm gonna grab it near that one. I'm gonna go to render view. I'm gonna repeat it and I think I have added a lot of emission. Yeah, Jolas. And now there's some black spots. We can use these as a transparent background. So I'm just gonna go for Shift A, add a transparent uh shader, Shift A, add a mix shader in between them, connect it to these and grab it. I grab the color and connect it with the color ramp, maybe, and we're gonna grab it to the vector. I'm just gonna increase the black, or maybe if we just invert it, yeah, it's working. For some instance, it's working, but okay, I'm just gonna check it by some, yeah, it's perfectly working and amazing, bro. It is a simple setup. Just disconnect the alpha. It's making it very messy. This is just so easy for you, and you can just go ahead and duplicate the same plan. I'm just gonna hit Shift D, duplicate it, rotate it to here, and in here, click this icon to add another. But before doing it, come to material and duplicate the material. Click this icon and go ahead and add another texture. I'm gonna add this Instagram texture. I'm gonna go to, okay, so I'm just going for these. Maybe we can rotate it the next or any axis we wish. We can scale it down slightly. We can scale it down all the way down like that. I'm gonna rotate these in x-axis. We, yeah, we can just play around with the value to show how much we want to see. Okay, I'm just going to, okay, that's fine. Now it's time to add the other images from Windows or somewhere. You can add videos into it. Videos will be so great because they will just move and around, and in the final shot, you will see some videos. But in this case, we're just using images. I'm gonna import another one, another image, the Windows image. Actually, I'm gonna go to pictures, screenshots. I'm gonna go ahead to the place where I have that Windows file. I'm gonna scale it up, something like this. I'm gonna grab it to the front. I'm gonna grab it to the side, somewhere here. I'm just showing you, okay? You can just add anything you wish. Also, connect the disconnect with alpha and connect it with the emission. Increase the emission, rotate it on y-axis, and just go ahead. Just gonna Just gonna edit and rotate on X, Y. Okay, 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 okay. Just gonna play around with the emission. And I think it's perfect. And you can go for anything else. You can just save your file. If you play it, it's perfectly dragged and it's actually moving with the camera movement. So guys, thanks for watching. Consider subscribe and I'm gonna make some more content like that. So just stay tuned to the next one because every next tutorial is the great one for me. I don't know about you. Thanks for watching guys. See you in the next one.